The French Open has seen legends collapse under pressure and future champions rise beneath the glowing lights of Paris. But even Roland-Garros was not ready for what happened when one of France's biggest music icons suddenly brought the entire stadium to silence for Alex Eala. Fans expected another routine afternoon at Court Suzanne Lenglen. Practice sessions were ending, crowds were settling into their seats, and music drifted casually through the stadium as organizers prepared for the start of the 2026 French Open. Then everything changed. Without warning, world-famous DJ and producer David Guetta walked onto the court holding a microphone. There had been no announcement, no leaks, and no mention of his appearance on the official entertainment schedule. For a few seconds, confusion spread through the crowd. Then the music began. The 58-year-old French superstar, known for electrifying massive festivals like Tomorrowland and Ultra Music Festival, delivered an emotional tribute dedicated entirely to the 20-year-old Filipina sensation Alex Eala. Instantly, the atmosphere inside Roland-Garros transformed. Ball kids stopped moving. Fans waving Philippine flags froze in place. The loud buzz of conversation slowly disappeared into complete silence as thousands realized they were witnessing something unforgettable. Even Eala herself appeared stunned. The young tennis star, who had already earned praise for her fearless performances against top-ranked opponents, looked completely speechless as cameras captured her reaction from the players' area. The moment quickly exploded across social media and the tennis world. Fans everywhere asked the same question. Why would one of the biggest names in global music appear at the French Open just to honor a rising tennis player before the tournament had even officially started? It was May 22, 2026, only 2 days before the main draw of the French Open. Roland-Garros was already alive with practice matches, media interviews, and thousands of fans filling the grounds. Organizers had planned small musical acts throughout the week, but nobody expected this secret appearance to become one of the tournament's most emotional moments before a single main draw point had been played. And in that unforgettable Paris atmosphere, Alex Eala's rise suddenly felt bigger than tennis itself. What fans did not know was that the entire moment had been secretly planned by French Open tournament director Amélie Mauresmo, who reportedly wanted to create an unforgettable experience before the main draw officially began. Earlier that morning, Mauresmo had smiled when reporters asked about rumors surrounding a surprise guest appearance. "We wanted to give the fans something special," she said. "David loves Paris. He loves tennis. And when I mentioned Alex Eala, he immediately wanted to be part of it." At first, only a small crowd filled Court Suzanne Lenglen. A few hundred fans sat casually in the stands, watching practice rallies and waiting for the next training sessions to begin. The atmosphere felt relaxed, almost ordinary. Then whispers started spreading through the grounds. "David Guetta is here." Within minutes, everything changed. Fans rushed toward the court from every direction. Spectators abandoned nearby practice sessions and squeezed into every open seat they could find. Security staff suddenly struggled to control the growing crowd as excitement swept through Roland-Garros. What had started as a quiet afternoon quickly became one of the hottest attractions in Paris. Then the stadium lights dimmed. Moments later, David Guetta stepped behind the DJ booth as the crowd exploded with cheers. The French music icon opened with several of his legendary hits, instantly transforming the tennis venue into something that felt more like a global music festival. Fans danced in the aisles. Philippine flags waved high above the stands. Thousands sang along while phones lit up the stadium like stars under the Paris sky. The energy inside Roland-Garros became absolutely electric. But just as the celebration reached its peak, the music suddenly stopped. Guetta slowly stepped toward the microphone. The entire stadium fell silent. "I have a special request tonight," he said softly. "There's someone here who inspired me. Someone who probably doesn't even know I've been watching her journey." The crowd leaned forward, waiting. "She's not from France. She's not from Europe. She's from the Philippines, a country that found hope in a young girl carrying a racket and a dream." Cameras instantly turned toward the players section where Alex Eala sat beside her mother, coaches, and team members. The young Filipina star looked completely stunned. Her eyes widened as one hand covered her mouth in disbelief. Then came the moment nobody inside the stadium would ever forget. Guetta smiled, pointed toward her section, and said, "Alex, this song is for you." The crowd erupted instantly. Thousands of fans screamed her name as applause thundered across the stadium. And beneath the glowing lights of Paris, David Guetta began performing for Alex Eala in one of the most emotional moments Roland-Garros had ever seen. But what unfolded on court Suzanne Lenglen that evening felt completely different from anything fans had ever seen from David Guetta before. This was not one of his massive festival anthems. It was not a remix built for clubs, streaming charts, or radio stations. There were no flashing visuals, no explosive drops, and no giant production effects designed to energize the crowd. What he performed for Alex Eala was something far more personal. It was an original tribute written specifically for her. The moment the first piano notes echoed through Roland-Garros, the atmosphere changed instantly. Only seconds earlier, fans had been dancing, cheering, and singing along to Guetta's biggest hits. But now, a soft melody drifted gently across the stadium like a quiet Paris evening breeze, slowly replacing the excitement with complete stillness. One by one, phones lowered. Philippine flags stopped waving. The chants disappeared. Silence took over the court. Guetta closed his eyes, stepped closer to the microphone, and began to sing. From Manila to Madrid, she carried dreams they said would fade. But every battle made her stronger, every setback lit the flame. The lyrics were simple, emotional, and raw in the most genuine way possible. There was no polished studio sound behind them. No heavy production. Just a man, a piano, and a heartfelt message for a young athlete whose rise had inspired millions around the world. Laban Alex, hear them call, from Rome to Paris, standing tall. Every step upon the clay, you inspire the world today. As his voice filled the stadium, cameras immediately focused on Eala sitting inside the players' section beside her mother, Riza Eala, along with her coaching staff. Alex looked frozen in disbelief. One hand covered her mouth while tears formed in her eyes as she tried to process what was happening. Beside her, her mother openly cried. Even members of the coaching team sat speechless, staring toward the stage as thousands around them stood completely still. The silence inside court Suzanne Lenglen became almost surreal. For a few moments, the crowd was so quiet that faint sounds from outside the stadium could be heard between the piano notes. Then Guetta continued. They told her dreams like this were too big, too far away to ever touch. But champions rise when hearts refuse to listen to the fear too much. The emotion inside the stadium only deepened with every line. Fans wiped tears from their faces. Some placed hands over their hearts while others softly sang along despite hearing the song for the very first time. Then came the final chorus. Laban Alex, don't look down, carry hope from every town. The Philippines will stand beside you, no matter where your path is found. As the final piano note faded into silence, nobody moved. For several long seconds, court Suzanne Lenglen stood completely frozen as if the entire stadium needed time to recover from witnessing one of the most emotional moments in French Open history. The final piano note drifted softly into the Paris night, and for one unforgettable moment, court Suzanne Lenglen stood completely silent. Nobody moved. Then suddenly, the stadium erupted. Not with the explosive chaos of a music festival or the thunderous energy of a dance concert, but with something far more emotional. Applause rolled through Roland-Garros like a wave of pure emotion mixed with cheers, tears, and pride. From somewhere near the front rows, a chant slowly began. Laban Alex, Laban Alex. At first it was soft. Then thousands joined in. Soon the entire stadium echoed with the chant as Philippine flags waved proudly beneath the glowing Paris lights. The sound became overwhelming, filling every corner of the court with support for Alex Eala. Near the stage, David Guetta stepped away from the microphone, visibly emotional himself. His eyes glistened as he looked toward the players' section where Alex still sat frozen in disbelief. One hand covered her mouth. Her shoulders trembled as she fought back tears. Guetta pointed gently toward her section before speaking softly into the microphone. This was for you, he said. And for every Filipino who has ever felt far away from home. You are never alone. The crowd exploded again, even louder this time. But Alex still could not move. Cameras zoomed tightly onto her face while millions watching around the world witnessed a rare sight, one of tennis' fastest rising young stars completely overwhelmed by emotion. Tournament staff had prepared a short interview immediately after the performance. A reporter stood nearby holding a microphone, waiting to hear her reaction. Fans leaned forward in anticipation, desperate to hear what she would say after such an unforgettable tribute. Slowly, Alex stood from her seat. She walked toward the edge of the players' section and looked out across the stadium. Philippine flags filled the stands. Fans who had traveled from different countries to support her waved and cheered through tears. Then she looked toward Guetta, the global music icon who had just performed an original song in her honor beneath the lights of Paris. She opened her mouth to speak. Nothing came out. The moment was simply too overwhelming. The pressure, the sacrifices, the memories of Manila, the expectations of carrying an entire nation's hopes onto the biggest stages in tennis. All of it seemed to crash over her at once. For several seconds, she could only shake her head gently while trying to smile through tears. Finally, in a voice so quiet the stadium nearly missed it, she whispered, "I'm sorry, I honestly don't have words." Instead of disappointment, the crowd answered her with even louder applause. No boos. No impatience, only love. Thousands of fans rose to their feet as chants of "Laban Alex" thundered across the French Open grounds once again, transforming the emotional tribute into something that felt much bigger than tennis itself. The applause only grew louder. "That's okay, Alex," one fan shouted from the stands. "We love you anyway." More voices followed, echoing through court Suzanne Lenglen as emotion continued to pour out from every section of the stadium. Philippine flags waved proudly beneath the Paris lights while fans clapped, cried, and cheered for Alex Eala. Near the stage, David Guetta slowly raised one hand toward the crowd, calming the noise for a brief moment before speaking once more into the microphone. "You don't need words," he said gently. "Just keep fighting. That's all we ask." Alex nodded softly, tears still filling her eyes. She pressed one hand against her chest and looked across the sea of supporters surrounding the court, fans from the Philippines, France, and countries all across Europe who had gathered to witness the unforgettable scene unfolding in Paris. Then she slowly returned to her seat. The moment lasted less than a minute in real time. But within hours, it became one of the defining images of the entire French Open build-up. Videos of Alex standing speechless beneath the Paris lights spread across social media at incredible speed. Clips flooded TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook as fans reposted, edited, and shared the tribute around the world. The reaction online was immediate and emotional. She couldn't even speak. That's how powerful this was. A global music legend wrote a song for a tennis player. Unreal. This is the Alex Eala effect. Across the Philippines, the response became overwhelming. News outlets called the moment historic, describing it as proof that Alex's influence had grown far beyond sports. One headline described it as the song that silenced Paris. Another called it a moment the tennis world will never forget. French media reacted with similar admiration. Several commentators noted that in an era filled with carefully planned celebrity appearances and manufactured viral moments, this felt completely genuine. There were no marketing campaigns, no commercial announcements, no product launches, just raw emotion. Writers described it as a rare collision between music, sport, and national pride, a moment where one of the world's biggest DJs stepped away from global hits and massive festival crowds simply to honor a young athlete whose journey had inspired millions. Reports later noted that although the Filipino community in France is relatively small, the atmosphere inside court Suzanne Lenglen felt enormous. The chants, the flags, and the tears did not feel staged or performative. They felt personal. And for one unforgettable night at Roland-Garros, Paris no longer felt far away from Manila. As clips of the tribute continued spreading across the internet, the reaction grew impossible to ignore. Media outlets across Europe and Asia covered the moment non-stop, while fans flooded social media with emotional messages for Alex Eala and the Filipino community that had transformed Roland-Garros into something unforgettable. Soon, even the Women's Tennis Association released a rare public statement acknowledging the moment. "We are deeply moved by the support shown for Alex, Eala, and the Filipino community," the statement read. "Tennis is at its best when it brings people together across cultures and borders." The wording was professional and carefully measured, but behind the scenes, the impact of the moment was becoming clear. What had started as a surprise performance before the French Open had evolved into something much larger than a tennis storyline. The Eala effect was no longer just about results on the court. It had become cultural, emotional, global. But long after the cameras stopped rolling and fans slowly exited court Susan-Lenglen, a different scene unfolded behind the stadium walls. The stage had already been dismantled. David Guetta quietly packed his equipment and disappeared into the Paris afternoon without drawing attention to himself, almost as if nothing extraordinary had happened. Yet inside the players' area, Alex remained seated in silence. She stared out toward the empty court where thousands had stood chanting her name only minutes earlier. The red clay of Roland-Garros stretched out beneath the fading evening light while echoes of the tribute still seemed to linger in the air. For a long moment, nobody spoke. Then softly, Alex turned toward her mother, Riza Eala. "Mama, did that really happen?" Her mother smiled through tears and gently nodded. "It happened," she whispered. "Every second of it." Alex lowered her eyes, still struggling to process everything. "I don't understand," she said quietly. "Why do people love me this much? I haven't won anything big yet. I still have so much to prove." Her mother reached for her hand. "You already proved something far more important," she replied. "Not through trophies. Through your courage. Through the way you fight even when things get difficult. People see your heart, Alex. That's why they believe in you." Silence filled the room again. Then Alex slowly stood and walked toward the edge of the empty seating area. Above her, the Paris sky had begun turning dark while the red clay below seemed to glow beneath the stadium lights. She looked across the quiet court for several seconds before finally speaking again. "I'm going to win," she said softly. "I don't know when. I don't know where. But I'm going to give them something to believe in." She turned toward her coaches and family, her voice steadier now. "I'll fight for every point. Every game. Every match. No matter what happens." The room remained silent. Then her mother stood and wrapped her in a long embrace. "That's all anyone has ever wanted from you," she whispered. The French Open had not even officially begun yet. The draw was still unfinished. The biggest matches still waited ahead. But in that quiet moment inside Roland-Garros, something already felt certain. A promise had been made. And from that night forward, Alex Eala would carry it into every match she played beneath the lights of Paris. Long after the videos stopped trending and the social media storm slowly faded, one image continued to live in the minds of tennis fans around the world. A young girl sitting in the players' box at Roland-Garros. Speechless. Overwhelmed. Suddenly standing at the center of something far bigger than tennis itself. The song Laban did not end in Paris. In the days that followed, the tribute spread far beyond court Susan-Lenglen. Choir groups in Manila performed their own versions online. Street musicians in London quietly played the melody for passing crowds. Overseas Filipino workers in Dubai shared clips of the performance. Many saying they saw their own struggles reflected in the journey of Alex Eala. For millions, the moment no longer felt like a sports story. It felt personal. Yet beneath all the emotion, one reality still remained. The tournament had not even started. The draw was unfinished. The matches had not been played. And the true pressure of the French Open still waited ahead beneath the lights of Roland-Garros. Now the world wanted to know whether a promise born from emotion could survive the intensity of competition. "I'm going to win," Alex had said. Not necessarily the tournament. Not only trophies or rankings. Something deeper. The belief of the people supporting her. Their pride. Their hearts. And suddenly one question hovered over the entire tennis world. When Alex Eala finally steps onto court Philippe Chatrier for her opening French Open match, will the weight of global expectation become too heavy to carry? Or will the love of millions lift her higher than ever before? What happened between David Guetta and Alex Eala was never just another celebrity appearance. During a surprise performance at Roland-Garros, Guetta stunned fans by stopping his set to perform an original tribute song dedicated entirely to the 20-year-old Filipina star. As he sang the chorus Laban Alex, "They're calling your name," the entire stadium transformed. Fans waved Philippine flags beneath the Paris lights while chants echoed through the stands. Seated beside her mother and coaching team, Alex appeared completely overwhelmed. Cameras captured the emotional moment as she covered her mouth and fought back tears during the performance. Afterward, when reporters asked for her reaction, she could barely speak. "I'm sorry," she whispered softly. "I honestly don't have the words." Within a day, clips of the tribute spread across TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and X, generating millions of views worldwide. Even the Women's Tennis Association later acknowledged the moment publicly, calling it an example of sport's power to unite people across borders and cultures. But perhaps the most powerful moment came later, away from the cameras, when Alex quietly made a promise that would define everything that followed. "I'm going to win their belief," she said. "I'm going to make them proud."